Next up is Mr. Kevin De Bruyne. Welcome back to part, what is it? I can't remember. Part 16 maybe? 16 is it for Kevin De Bruyne? It is part 16 of my 24 part when I'm reviewing all the players. And it was a very weird season for Kevin De Bruyne, wasn't it? It was a very weird season indeed. I'm just looking at his over on the games. And he played 30 minutes against Arsenal early on the season. And then he got injured for forever. He had so many injuries this season. He was out from the 15th of August for 63 days until mid-October. Then he only lasted about a week before getting another ligament injury in November. Keeping him out for 43 days, missing 21 games in that period of time there. Then he had a few muscular problems, and then he had an injury early March, which kept him out essentially for all of March. And then he had basically one mid-April to the start of May essentially. So he missed about 30 games via injury, and he could never really get going, which was so frustrating for Kevin De Bruyne. He talked a lot about how he doesn't really cry very much. He barely even cried when his kids were born, apparently, and then he cried when he had to ring his missus about the injury because he just felt so frustrating for him. Kevin De Bruyne is a man that likes to express his ability, and he likes to express himself as a person out on the football pitch. After a season last year that was 9.50, it was fantastic. It was a brilliant season, genuinely a show-stopping season, nearly perfect last season. This was a crash back down to earth for Kevin De Bruyne. The weird thing about it was that when he did play, he was good. He was actually pretty good. But once again, it's all about expectation, and there's no denying that this, unfortunately, was a disappointing season for Kevin De Bruyne, mainly because when he did play, we saw how good he could actually be. So he missed absolutely loads. I got to talk about, obviously, when he did come back, and there was a few games in particular where he was just fantastic. That Spurs game, the Champions League, the 4-3, the man was just a freak of nature. He was absolutely possessed, running past people, scoring, setting up goals. He was just genuinely freakishly good that day. The power of his display, it was just one of the best midfield displays I've seen from a Manchester City player. And then that cameo as well in the FA Cup. Jesus, Kev, that Simpsons meme, stop it, they're already dead. He came on and absolutely butchered Watford. I just noticed, by the way, in that, I think he got 3 assists against Spurs. I forgot about that. That's just genuinely phenomenal. 2 assists in the game before that, in the Premier League, away to Crystal Palace. Man of the match, just what a player. Yeah, and then obviously back to the Watford game, he came on, got an assist and a goal. He was just so good, so good, and a nice reminder of what maybe could have been if De Bruyne had played all season. How many points would we have got? Would we have gone through as well in the Champions League? It's very possible because he obviously his form and fitness were kind of here and there. He only got a minute in the end in that first game, but he hadn't played much, and he was kind of fit then, but essentially they were resting him because of his body and didn't want him getting tired, and it was a weird kind of season for Kevin De Bruyne. I'm hoping next season he's going to come back incredibly fresh. And the likes of him and Bernardo Silva in the same team, we barely played together at all at the same level. Essentially, you've got to remember that Bernardo Silva wasn't at the level he's at this season last year. So the level that De Bruyne was at and Bernardo Silva have been at, they've not really meshed together yet. And I can't wait to see what they're capable of next season. But for Kevin De Bruyne, this was a season kind of to forget, even though he did have some incredible moments throughout that. I remember, I think it was the FA Cup game against Burnley when he scored that just phenomenal drive. Was it FA Cup? When he scored that just incredible goal in his first game back in a while. Got an assist as well, I think. And he was just yeah, he's back or something like that. He was just absolutely brilliant. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Something like that anyway. But Kevin De Bruyne, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10, mainly because the expectations were so high. And even though he couldn't do much about it, if you're not going to play much, it's hard to get any higher than that, really. Though, normally it would be around a 5, but his quality performances showed how good it could be, even if it was a relative write-off for the season for him. That's not to slight De Bruyne in any way or shape or form, but it was a disappointing year for Kevin De Bruyne. There's no denying that, unfortunately. Still an absolute world-class player, as we all know. I'm expecting next season a 9.5 or higher, maybe. Fingers crossed. Come on, Kev. Guys, that's the end of today's videos. I hope you enjoyed all of them. Make sure you check out Zinchenko, Gundogan, Fernandinho, and all the defenders before that as well. And tomorrow we've got an absolute load more. Who is it tomorrow? Let's have a look. Bernardo, Phil Foden, David Silva, and Riyad Mahrez potentially. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed these videos for tonight. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Thank you to all these guys scrolling down the side of the screen. These are my patrons. If you want to get involved, patreon.com/Esteemed Kompany. Leave this video a like, and I'll see you very, very, very soon.